A week has passed since the riot in Urumqi. As life in the city returns to normal, more and more people feel secure enough to come out to shop and dine. Our reporter Liu Ming has this story from Urumqi.
This is the downtown area in Urumqi. Behind me, you can see over there is one of the largest department stores in the city. This place is one of the most violent spots during the July 5th riot. The department store was then closed immediately. It was until a couple of days ago that it reopened. I came to see very few customers here, but when I come here again today, I see some changes are taking place. More people come here for shopping, and many of them take their kids. And it is the same case with the KFC on the first floor of the department store building.
I feel safe now, and I'm not worried at all if things are returning to normal.
We have seen the changes in customer flow since we reopened on July the 10th. Very few people came to eat on that day, but there had been an increasing number during the past 2 days.
Here is the People's Square, where riot participants were gathered on July the 5th. And no one has been allowed into it ever since then. But I noticed that guarding the square now are policemen instead of special forces a couple of days ago. And the number of security guards has also reduced. All that shows that the alert level in the city has lowered. And another obvious change is the traffic in the city. Now take the road close to the square, for instance. It's getting noisy again. We can see many more taxis, buses, passengers and cars back on the street again. And traffic jams also reappear on the street. That's very bad news for drivers, but pretty good sign for recovery. Liu Ming, CCTV, Urumqi.
Flights to and from Urumqi are running as scheduled. Local authorities say travelers have nothing to worry about since the situation in the city is now completely under control. However, they say it will still take some time for local tourism to fully recover. Our reporter Xu Zhaoqun filed this report from Urumqi.
Thousands of outbound travelers are crowded in the departure lounge, waiting for flights to the rest of the country. The arrival hall gets busy after 12 o'clock when flights from outside Xinjiang are arriving. Most flights arrive on time. Tourists can be spotted among the passengers, but obviously there are fewer than before. In light of this, travel agencies are working harder to promote their services.
I know what happened here. I'm not worried.
You're alone?
Yeah.
You're not afraid?
No, I think I'm a foreigner.
You know something
yeah,
here?
a lot. But I think as a foreigner, it's not really a problem for me.
Is there anyone here meeting you?
No. I'm just traveling. I'm going to Kashgar.
Even though the riots have stopped, the world-renowned tourism industry in Xinjiang is still suffering. On July the 6th, more than 2,000 tourists visited Turpan, a city famous for its grapes. 2 days later, this number shrank to only 600. In Urumqi, the international bazaar is still closed to public. Statistics from the local tourism authorities show that more than 1,000 travel groups have changed their bookings. Nearly 10,000 people have cancelled their travel plans to Xinjiang. Officials say they will organize more promotional activities to resume tourism here. Tourism may be the #1 victims of the July 5th riot. Indeed, it will take some time for the local tourism to recover. But despite all this, Xinjiang is still a beautiful place and nobody can change it. Xinjiang should have no problem remaining one of the most popular tourism attractions in China. Xu Zhaoqun, CCTV, Urumqi, Xinjiang.
The government of the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region is continuing to treat and comfort those who suffered injuries or property loss or lost their family members. The regional government chairman Noor Berkri says the government will make the July 5th riot victims free of worries. Wu Peng has more details.
Noor Berkeri says the government will offer more financial support and encourage more donations to help the July 5th victims overcome their difficulties.
We will take a series of measures to help them overcome these tough times. Meanwhile, we will also make those who have been wounded or disabled free of worries and assure their livelihoods.
The chairman said 633 buildings were damaged in the violence. He added that 291 shops were among the damaged houses. He pledged the government's help to ensure store owners restore their businesses.
I believe the financial support from the central and local governments will ensure that the victims receive the most possible help.
Noor Berkeri said that social order in Urumqi has already been resumed and that the current task is to guarantee the security of the city and to ensure the overall stability of the autonomous region. Wu Peng, CCTV.
Shortly after the July 5th incident, senior CPC official Zhou Yongkang and Minister of Public Security Meng Jianzhu visited the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The purpose of their visit was to ensure stability and ethnic unity and to promote social and economic recovery after last Sunday's deadly riot. Yuan Xiaoyuan has more details.
Zhou Yongkang continued his fourth day of inspection in Xinjiang on Sunday. He went to a supermarket in Urumqi where he saw market supply commodity prices back to normal. He also inspected the production line of a local food manufacturer and urged for efforts to increase productivity while ensuring quality. Power supply in Urumqi that was once disrupted by bombs has been restored. Zhou thanked the enterprises that contributed to this and asked them to ensure the power supply for both manufacturers and local residents. Zhou Yongkang paid a visit to firefighters who devoted themselves to save lives during the riots. Early on Friday, Zhou Yongkang visited Kashgar and Hotan in the southwestern part of the autonomous region. There he stressed the urgent need to maintain stability and ethnic unity. He met soldiers and police and asked them to put people's interests first and to try to solidify ethnic unity while performing their duties. He called on local governments and public safety sectors to stay on high alert to stop any attempt to sabotage social stability. Zhou Yongkang also talked with Uyghur residents about farming and their daily lives. He pledged the central government's help to improve people's living standards in southern Xinjiang. Zhou also visited Xinjiang Normal University, where students and teachers unanimously condemned the actions of the riots. He also visited communities in Urumqi and held talks with the religious figures at the Xinjiang Islam Institute. They expressed their determination to cherish national unity and social stability. Zhou Yongkang showed his support for the efforts to unite believers. After his arrival in Urumqi on Thursday, Zhou Yongkang visited the injured at a hospital. He then inspected the army and police who are responsible for the stability of the society there. A day early on Wednesday, the Minister of Public Security Meng Jianzhu arrived in Urumqi to visit the injured residents and families of people killed in the riot. He called for no leniency in the punishment of those who instigated the Urumqi riot and asked the local government to offer material assistance to help residents overcome difficulties. Yuan Xiaoyuan, CCTV.
You're watching Worldwide Watch here on CCTV International. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, Somali government forces and African Union peacekeepers battle Islamist insurgents in Mogadishu, leaving at least 40 people dead. And the interim government in Honduras lifts the curfew imposed since the coup that ousted President Manuel Zelaya late last month.